Okay, so today we are going to learn about time value of money and discounted cash flow valuation. Okay, first of all, before we begin answering the question, um, first of all, you have to know two basic concepts in these chapters: future value and present value. Basically, the future value is the amount an investment is worth after one or more periods given some interest rates. Okay, while present value means the current value of future cash flow discounted at the appropriate discount rate. For the calculation of the future value and the present value will be quite different from one another based on the cash flow itself. So, okay, based on the cash flow characteristics. In this chapters, you're going to face three kinds of cash flows. The first one is the single cash flow. The second one is the multiple cash flow in terms of in the case of the annuity, and the third one is multiple cash flows in the case of perpetuity. Okay, so these kinds of the cash flows differences is based on the amount of the cash flow itself, whether it is constant or it is in the different amount or varying amount of cash flows, and in how many periods you're going to receive the cash flows. Okay, the single cash flows, you can use the formula here, is used when there is only one payment or one receipt of cash flow in the future. Okay, or this formula can also be useful if you know that you're going to receive or pay um, a series of cash flows, but the nominal varies significantly. Okay, so for example, in the second year, you're going to, for example, receive $500. In the third year, you're going to receive $100. In the fourth year, you're going to receive $6,000, and so on and so forth. So single cash flow formula can also be used if you face that kind of situations, because in that kind of situations you have to calculate each present value of the cash flow for each year. Okay, the second one is the multiple cash flow in the case of annuity, which annuity itself can be defined as a level stream of cash flow for a fixed period of time. So you're going to receive or you're going to have to pay a series of cash flow for a fixed period of time. So the what is it? The duration? No, no, not the duration, but um, the time horizon has been defined. Okay, you're going to receive or you're going to have to pay um, the series of cash flows in that period of time only. Okay. Another characteristics of the annuity is the fact that the amount of the cash flow that you're going to receive or you're going to have to pay is in the same amount, or if it is not in the same amount, it grows in a constant rate. Okay, so there needs to be the constant growth rate. And for the last one is multiple cash flow in the case of the perpetuity. Perpetuity itself is an annuity in which the cash flow continue forever. So you can expect you can receive the cash flows for infinity. Okay, for infinity, quote unquote infinity period of time. Okay, so those are the three kinds of the cash flow. The first, okay, and another important thing that you should understand is if we want to calculate the present value of annuity or in perpetuity, the present value that we are going to find is the present value one period before the cash flow starts. So for example, if you're going to receive an annuity from, for example, for the year 5 until year 10, if you want to calculate the present value of the annuity from the year 5 and the year 10, the present value that you are going to find is the amount of the annuity of year 5 to year 10 in the 4th year, okay, so, or in the year 4. So that basically means if you want to calculate the present value of the annuity or the perpetuity, if it begins later than the year 1, the present value that you're going to find is one period before the cash flow starts, okay. And another important thing that you should understand is the effective annual rate, which is the interest rate expressed as if it were compounded once per year. Okay, so in real life, you might find, for example, loans that has different compounding methods. So for example, loan A compounded monthly, while loan B compounded daily. And how do you compare which loan provides you with the lower interest rate? You can use the effective annual rate to compare those kinds of loans, okay? So in order to further your understanding in this chapter, so we are going to move on to the questions. Okay, so the first one, problem 1. The present value of the following cash flow is $6,550 if discounted at 10% annually. What is the value of the missing cash flow X in the following table? Okay, so in this problem, you have known that the present value of the cash flow that you're going to receive from year 1 to year 4 is 6,550, and you need to find the cash flow in the second year, okay? Since you only know the present value of the sum of this cash flow, okay, in order to find the value of the second year cash flow, you have to find the present value of each year cash flow, okay? So this is the information that is given in the question, okay? And you need to find the present value of each year cash flow in order to be able to find the second year cash flow, okay? So for the first year cash flow, which amounts as much as 1,600, you need to find the present value of this cash flow, okay? If you look at it at a glimpse, you might probably think that problem 1 can be solved by the annuity, but the annuity cannot be used for this question. Why? Because the amount of the cash flow is neither in the same amount for each year, nor that it grows by a constant growth rate. So you need to find the present value of each year separately using the single cash flow formula, okay? So for the year 1, how to find the cash flow? You can use the present value of the single cash flow, okay? So the cash flow that you are going to receive divided by the interest by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of the period itself, which in this case is 1, because you are going to present value the first year cash flow. That means you are going you would like to know how much this cash flow worth today or in year 0, so the period is 1, and you find the present value amounts as much as 1,454.55, okay? The second year cash flow, you cannot find the present value because this is the one that you're looking for, okay? So we are moving to the third year cash flow. You expect to receive $2,100, and how to find the present value of the third year cash flow? Basically, it's the same with the first year cash flow. You need to divide the cash flow itself by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of the period itself, okay? So for this case, you need to use the T or the T 3 because you're going to receive this in the third year and you would like to know how much this worth today. Okay, so you need to use the t of 3. And for the fourth year, okay, the fourth year cash flow divided by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of 4. Okay, so the t that is used here is 4. Okay, sum of the PV, sum of the present value of the first, second, third, and fourth year in the question is 6,550, while the present value that you have calculated for the first, third, and fourth year cash flow is 4,944.74. Okay, the difference between the sum of the PV and the PV of the first, third, and fourth year that you have just calculated is basically equals to the present value of the second cash flow, right? Okay, after you find the present value of the second cash flow, okay, you're not done just yet, because you need to find the cash flow in the second year. Okay, the cash flow in the second year, not the present value of the cash flow in the second year. So how do you find the cash flow in the second year? Is by using the future value formula of the single cash flow. So this present value of the second cash flow here needs to be multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of the period itself. So the t is 2, okay, and you can find the cash flow that you that you're going to receive in the second year. The nominal amount is 1,942.36. Okay, so that is the amount of the cash flow that you are going to receive in the second year, this one. Okay, so that's problem 1. And now we shall move to the problem 2. You join an investment banking company, namely Falak Investama Corp. They offer you 2 forms of salary payment. You will get $95,000 per year for 2 years, or you can get $70,000 per year for the first 2 years, plus a bonus of $45,000 on the day of the contract signing. Bonuses are paid immediately, and salaries are paid at the end of the year. If the interest rate is 8% compounded monthly, which choice you should make? Okay. So basically in this problem, you are given 2 alternatives. The first one that will give you $95,000 for the first 2 years of the contract signing, and alternative 2 will provide you with $70,000 for the first 2 years of contract signing, plus $45,000 as a bonus for the contract signing, and you can receive the $45,000 immediately. Okay, and the interest rate is 8%, which is compounded monthly, and this 8% needs to be converted in the annual rate. So 8% is the interest rate for the year, but it is compounded monthly. Okay, since the amount of the money that we are going to receive is in the yearly basis, so you need to find the effective annual rate. Okay, so you need to find the effective annual rate. This 8% of compounding monthly need to be converted if it is as if it is compounded yearly or annually. Okay, and how do you find the EAR, or the effective annual rate? You can find the formula in your book or in the question sheet provided, and you find that the EAR, or the effective annual rate, is 8.0029%. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this needs, okay. 8.29951%. Okay, and then from these examples, okay, in the alternative one, you're going to receive $95,000 in the first year and $95,000 in the second year, and you need to calculate the present value of year 1 and year 2. Okay, and you find that the present value of the first year cash flow is 87,719.34. Okay, meanwhile the present value of the second year cash flow is 80,996.66. You need to sum this present value up, and you find the present value for the alternative one is 168,715.99. Okay, and for it's correct. And for the alternative 2, okay, you need to find the present value of the first and the second year cash flow, but you don't need to find the present value of the contract signing bonus. Why? Because the contract signing bonus is paid immediately, which basically means that the amount you're going to receive immediately is the present value of the amount of the money itself. So the 45,000 is already in the present value or in the year 0, so you don't need to find the present value itself, because the present value is the amount of the money itself. Okay, while to find the present value of the first and the second year cash flow is basically quite the same with finding the present value of single cash flow that I have told you earlier. Okay, so the cash flow needs to be divided by 1 plus the interest rate, but this one using the effective annual rate to the power of 1, because the t is 1 or the period is 1. While in the second year you need to use the t of 2. Okay, and you just need to add this present value up, and you find that the present value for the alternative 2 is 169,317.05. Okay, based on the present value that is that have already been calculated here for alternative 1 and alternative 2, you find that present value of the alternative 2 is higher than alternative 1. So that basically means it is more profitable for you if you choose alternative 2 instead of alternative 1. So from these questions, which alternative that you should make is alternative 2, where you have the contract signing bonus today and you receive 70,000 in the first 2 years of the signing the contract. Okay, so that's for the problem 2.